Have you ever paused to consider how the boundless ambition propelling commercial space exploration might, in a surprising twist, mirror the audacious digital frontiers of decentralized finance?
It sounds like two entirely separate worlds, doesn't it? Like
Yeah,
something out of sci-fi versus a, dense financial white paper.
exactly. But today, we're actually going to embark on a deep dive into a truly fascinating convergence. Okay, let's unpack this. We're going to explore TRON, or TRX, a major player in the blockchain space. We'll be dissecting its strategic trajectory, its market dynamics, and yeah, the surprising connections between its founders' incredibly ambitious ventures and the network's significant growth.
What's truly fascinating here is how this project really exemplifies an emerging innovation within a rapidly evolving tech landscape. We'll be
Hmm.
looking beyond the surface headlines, which, let's be honest, can often be filled with hype. We want to understand Tron's core strengths, its ambitious roadmap, but crucially also the inherent risks and challenges.
Right.
It's about getting to grips with the underlying mechanics and implications. Much like how tech journalists, maybe like those at blockroar.com, might dissect a promising yet still emerging technology.
Absolutely. And to give you that truly comprehensive view, we're drawing from a wealth of sources for this deep dive. Everything from in-depth research reports to nuanced market analyses sourced via Blockrora. So let's start with a story that quite literally aims for the stars.
Yeah, we absolutely have to kick off with the attention-grabbing narrative of Justin Sun, the founder of Tron. He's on the cusp of making history as the youngest Chinese-born commercial astronaut. And get this, the very first Forbes cover crypto entrepreneur to travel to space aboard Blue Origin's New Shepard.
Wow, that's quite a combination.
Isn't it? And this isn't just some joyride. It marks the 14th human flight for the New Shepard program and the 34th in its history. It really puts the scale of commercial space travel into perspective, doesn't it?
It truly does. And to provide some context here, Sun's journey to this point started back in 2021. He had a successful $28 million bid for one of the first seats on New Shepard. $28 million.
Yeah, but what makes this more than just, a personal endeavor, and what's particularly interesting from an innovation standpoint, is where that money went. The entirety of those proceeds were donated to Blue Origin's foundation, Club for the Future.
Okay.
And this foundation, in turn, distributed $1 million grants each to 19 different space-focused nonprofits. The explicit aim: to inspire future generations to pursue careers in STEAM fields. That's science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
Huh. So it's like a feedback loop.
Exactly. It's a powerful cycle, really. Leveraging personal wealth from one frontier crypto to fund inspiration and development in another, which is space exploration.
And Justin Sun himself put it quite well. He said, "We are witnessing the beginning of a new chapter in human exploration, where space is no longer reserved for governments or institutions, but is becoming a frontier for innovators, dreamers, and builders from all walks of life."
It's a bold vision.
It really is. Seems to perfectly capture that crypto ethos.
Absolutely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this personal milestone for Sun isn't just about one guy going to space. It profoundly underscores this fusion of blockchain innovation with commercial space exploration. It's a vivid reflection, really, of the increasing connection between the digital economy and cutting-edge scientific advancement. Sun sees this journey not just as a personal adventure, but as a symbolic act for the entire crypto space. It highlights that frontier mentality.
So why does this matter to you, the listener?
Well, it showcases the growing ambition and influence of key figures from the crypto world. They're not just staying within their digital sandbox, so to speak. They're extending their reach into traditional high-tech sectors like space. And that signals a broadening scope of influence for the entire industry. It's a potent symbol of where capital and innovation are flowing now.
Okay, so while Justin Sun is literally aiming for the stars, pushing boundaries up there, let's bring it back down to earth, or maybe back to the chain. What's actually powering Turon's real-world utility? What makes this network tick on the ground level?
Right, that's where the rubber meets the road. And Tron's network fundamentals are precisely why it's carved out such a significant position. Let's start with its undeniable stablecoin dominance.
Okay.
Tron currently hosts the largest circulating supply of USD Tether, USDT, that stablecoin pegged to the US dollar. We're talking figures exceeding $81 billion as of July 2025.
81 billion
On Tron. Billion, yes. Think about this. Over 51%, more than half of all USDT in circulation now resides on the TRON network.
Wow.
And the transaction volume is just staggering. It processes over $20 billion daily in USDT transfers. That actually surpasses Ethereum's $16 billion.
Daily. 20 billion.
Yep. And we're talking 2.3 to 2.4 million daily USDT transactions. That is, let me check the number. Yeah, 6.8 times more than Ethereum handles. Plus $22 billion in USDT minted on TRON in 2025 alone.
That's incredible volume. Why is that so critical?
Well, this makes TRON an absolutely essential backbone for emerging market remittances. Think about regions where traditional banking is slow, or expensive, or just plain inaccessible. TRON's near-zero fees and almost instant transfers mean a family can receive money from abroad far more efficiently. It directly addresses a massive global need that, frankly, legacy systems really struggle with.
Right. That makes sense. The low fees are key there.
Definitely. And beyond stablecoins, network efficiency is another core strength. TRON boasts high-speed settlement capable of over 2,000 transactions per second, near instant confirmation, and incredibly fast 3-second block times.
3 seconds. Okay.
Plus those low transaction fees, often near-zero gas fees, that's the small payment users make, to process transactions, they're a direct result of its delegated proof of stake, or DPoS, consensus mechanism. So you're not paying an arm and a leg just to move your assets around.
Yeah.
And the growth metrics, they really paint a picture of a network under heavy use. Cumulative fees have crossed $2 billion, over 14 billion transactions processed just since 2024.
14 billion.
In May 2025 alone, TRON processed 273 million transactions. That was its second highest monthly total ever. Active addresses hit 28.7 million in June, highest since mid-2023. And we're also looking at over 321 million total user accounts and over $25.8 billion in total value locked, or TVL, as of July 2025. That's the value staked or locked in DeFi protocols on the network. So all of this signals a network really built for immense scale and practical utility. It's acting as a real workhorse for the digital economy.
So summing that up, it's clear TRON's network is really architected for high-volume, low-cost transactions. It's become this critical piece of infrastructure, especially for stablecoin movements globally, almost like a digital highway for cross-border value transfer, particularly USDT. Now, we've seen the technical strength, but what's truly intriguing is how TRON plans to translate that into broader, maybe more mainstream adoption and institutional legitimacy. How are they positioning themselves to bridge that crypto-native world with traditional finance? Here's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah, there's certainly making some calculated moves on several fronts. One of the most significant, I think, is their recent Nasdaq debut.
Yes, the listing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
On July 24, 2025, TRON Inc., which used to be SRM Entertainment, began trading on Nasdaq under the ticker TRON. This happened via a $100 million reverse merger. But this isn't just a name change. Crucially, TRON Inc. has committed to holding TRX as a reserve asset. It directly mirrors MicroStrategy's Bitcoin strategy, which got a lot of attention.
Right, holding crypto on the balance sheet.
Precisely. They currently hold 365 million TRX, valued at about $117 million. And their CEO, Rich Miller, has even publicly stated a target of Nasdaq 100 inclusion by 2028.
Ambitious.
Very. This move is clearly designed to attract significant institutional capital, providing a sort of traditional investment vehicle for exposure to the TRON ecosystem.
Okay, so that's the institutional angle. What about retail?
Well, beyond Wall Street, they're also expanding retail access. The MoonPay integration, back on May 7th, for instance, allowed U.S. users direct TRX purchasing. It simplifies that whole on-ramp process. And it actually seemed to work, boosting TRX's price by about 8.2% right after the announcement. Then on the technical side, their roadmap looks quite detailed. They're aiming for continuous improvement. The mainnet 4.8.0, which they've codenamed the Can't upgrade, voting is expected around June 2025. This aims for enhanced Ethereum compatibility, which is huge for attracting developers, plus new virtual machine instructions for more complex apps and optimized consensus for better network performance.
So staying compatible but getting faster.
Essentially, yes. They're also upgrading their USDT 2.0 stablecoin to be fully decentralized with TRX USDT minting. And get this, introducing gas-free USDT transfers. That would further solidify their dominance in that market, wouldn't it?
Gas-free USDT. That's a big deal.
Huge deal. And looking ahead, they're launching TronScope Pro, a premium analytics platform, probably in Q3 2025. It's designed to offer real-time alerts and cross-chain analytics for traders and developers. Oh, and one more thing. To try and diversify their ecosystem beyond just being the USDT chain, they've launched the $10 million TRON Builders League. It specifically targets innovation in DeFi, AI, and infrastructure projects on the network.
Okay.
So you see, these are all very deliberate stats. They're aimed at growing the whole ecosystem and cementing its place in the broader digital economy.
It really sounds like a comprehensive strategy. These moves collectively show a clear intent, to bridge the crypto-native world with traditional finance and expand the network's utility far beyond just, processing transactions. They're building an ecosystem and actively seeking that institutional validation. All right, let's bring in the market data now and then maybe pivot to a more critical assessment of Tron's outlook. What's the current pulse of the market saying about TRX right now?
Okay, looking at the numbers as of today, the price of TRX is hovering around 0.32333. That gives it a market cap of about $30.62 billion, with a 24-hour trading volume around $757 million. There's a circulating supply of about 94.72 billion TRX, and importantly, an infinite max supply, meaning more can technically be minted.
Right, inflationary potential there.
Potentially, yes. Sentiment overall, though, leans bullish. It's registering at 67% greed, according to the CMC Fear and Greed Index. And here's a significant factor. A remarkable 92.83% of TRX holders are currently in profit. That accounts for about 86.9 billion TRX held profitably.
93% in profit. Wow.
Theoretically, this reduces immediate sell pressure as fewer people are underwater on their investment. And you see that reflected in the performance. TRX has gained an impressive 133% year over year.
Okay, so strong performance, high profitability. What about technicals?
From a technical analysis standpoint, some analysts are eyeing potential moves up towards the $0.34 to $0.45 range if key resistance levels can be decisively broken. TRX is currently trading near its December 2024 all-time high, which is around 0.4343.
So near previous peaks.
Exactly. And interestingly, the TRX-BTC ratio that measures Tron's performance against Bitcoin, it recently entered what some call an underperformance zone. Historically, this pattern has often preceded rallies of 25% or more for TRX relative to Bitcoin.
Interesting indicator.
It can be. Plus, there's a significant staking incentive through something called TR Energy, offering a variable APY currently between 16% and 20%. That strongly incentivizes holding TRX and locking up supply.
16 to 20% APY is quite high.
It is. However, and this is an important caveat, these returns are tied to energy market dynamics on the network itself. And we've actually seen a pretty sharp drop, about 63% in the energy TRX rate since 2023. That could put pressure on the staking yields going forward. This raises an important question.
Okay, hold on. That sounds fantastic for holders. I mean, 93% in profit, those high staking yields. But doesn't such a high percentage of profitable holdings also create a significant risk, like a potential for large sell-offs if market sentiment shifts quickly? Could that lead to increased volatility? And maybe stepping back, what are the broader potential headwinds or things we should really be watching out for with TRON?
Absolutely. That's the critical perspective we need to apply here, digging deeper like, the analysts at BlockRoar.com might. You're right. While high profitability can reduce some sell pressure from those who bought higher, it also creates this large pool of investors sitting on significant gains. They might be ready to take profits, which can indeed amplify price swings. This is especially true if those large holders, the whales, decide to sell near key resistance levels.
Whales, right. How concentrated is the ownership?
That's a key risk factor. Data suggests around 71.19% of the TRX supply is held by these large whale accounts. That level of concentration means their actions can disproportionately affect the price.
71%.
Right.
Okay, that's significant.
It is. And that brings us to the technical resistance itself. Despite the generally bullish sentiment, TRX has struggled, really seeing repeated rejections at that 32-cent to 34-cent resistance level since back in December 2024. Specifically, the critical resistance seems to be around 0.31984 Mars. That's the 23.6% Fibonacci retracement level, a key technical marker traders watch.
So hitting a ceiling repeatedly.
Seems like it. And the competitive landscape is also heating up significantly. We're seeing new projects like Remitix or RTX openly positioning themselves as TRX 2.0 with cross-chain payment solutions, directly aiming to take market share from TRON. Furthermore, the broader crypto market itself poses challenges. Think about Ethereum's momentum from potential ETFs or Solana's continued growth in low-fee stablecoins. These directly threaten TRON's altcoin market share, even with its first-mover advantage in the stablecoin space.
Competition is getting fierce.
Definitely. And then there are the regulatory risks, which are always looming in crypto. The SEC has scrutinized TRX's classification. Is it a security? That's still somewhat unclear. And TRON Inc.'s corporate structure could potentially delay its Nasdaq ambitions or introduce unexpected compliance hurdles. We're also seeing new regulations pop up globally. Nigeria's ISA in 2025, for example, mandates audited reserves and formal agreements, GMUs, for crypto entities operating there. This presents both compliance challenges and potential growth opportunities in key emerging markets, depending on how Tron navigates them.
Right, regulation is always the wild card.
Always. And finally, while the Nasdaq listing certainly boosts visibility, it also sparks that classic debate. Is it hype driving the price, or is it genuine underlying fundamentals? Does a traditional listing truly de-risk a complex blockchain project? So this balanced view, considering both the strengths and these significant risks, helps you, the listener, understand the full spectrum. It encourages critical thinking about how the market really evaluates a project's potential against its inherent risks.
So what does this all mean for Tron then? We've explored its founders' pretty wild ambitions in space, its impressive expansion on the ground, those solid technical foundations making it a stablecoin powerhouse. And we've also dissected its strategic moves trying to bridge into traditional finance. Yet it's clearly navigating some significant market shop and regulatory complexities.
Indeed. The fundamental tension here, I think, is between its undeniable utility and ambition on one side and these inherent market risks, whale concentration, and regulatory uncertainties on the other. So the big question remains, will Tron's pivot towards Wall Street, combined with its strong stablecoin utility, truly allow it to decouple from Bitcoin's notorious volatility? Can it overcome these centralization concerns, especially as regulatory scrutiny inevitably intensifies? How it answers that will likely shape its role in the future of decentralized finance.
That is an excellent thought to leave you with, something to definitely mull over as you continue exploring these complex themes in the crypto space. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Tanan. We hope this has given you a useful shortcut to being well informed on this really fascinating topic. And thank you for listening to BlockRoar.com.